Hi friends, it's Wendy with H2O Bungalow. I've got another exciting project to share with you guys today. Today I want to share with you my new cafe light project. So when I was working on my backyard makeover for the outdoor overhaul, I had the opportunity to put cafe lights back in my garden. And this time I went with removable poles for storms, and it's a real easy project. I want to share with you the first project I did with cafe lights, and I'm going to compare them, and then I'll share with you how I built this cafe light project for this garden. And then lastly, I want to talk about the string lights I used, because I used glass versus the LED plastic. And now that I've used both, I definitely like the LED plastic ones better. And I'll talk a little bit about that, and then I will share the link to that product in the description box in my YouTube video. As always, folks, you'll find lots more information in my blog post at h2obungalow.com. Search string lights. And while you're there, don't forget to subscribe, and then subscribe to my YouTube channel as well, H2O Bungalow, or just push that subscribe button below. My first set of outdoor string lights was freestanding. I built boxes out of pressure-treated wood to cover the 5-gallon buckets and concrete I'd use to anchor them. I left room at the top and planted ornamental grass. It was great that I could move them, but the downside was that if a real strong wind like 40 miles an hour plus came, it could knock them over, and then the glass bulbs would break, so I couldn't leave them out year-round. When I redesigned the yard and added a landscape bed, I thought I'd try another version of outdoor cafe lights. My new idea was to use removable posts in sleeves that were anchored into the ground. So you'll plan where you want your posts to be and how far apart. You'll use a 3-to-1 ratio, so 1/3 of your pole height needs to be underground. My poles are 10 feet, so I used 3 feet underground. It wasn't so important for the 1-to-3 ratio specifically because my poles were light. If you're using heavy poles like wood posts or metal sleeves, then you'll absolutely want to stick with that 3-to-1 ratio. I used 4 feet of 1.5 PVC for each hole. They're sold in 10-foot pieces at Home Depot, and I cut them in half to get them in my car and then adjusted the height with my chop saw. You'll need 2 people for this step. We used a half a bag of quickset concrete per hole. You won't need a lot of concrete in each hole since this is not a heavy load bearing post support. We poured the concrete and the water in together. Read the instructions. This brand used 2 quarts per half bag. You'll stir, use a level, and don't forget your face mask and your safety goggles. You probably want to paint your post and your post sleeve before you put them in the ground. I forgot and had to do it afterwards. The poles still scratched a bit, but I was able to touch them up after they were standing in their sleeves in the garden. Next, you'll add your hooks for hanging your lights. Use a drill and drill a pilot hole at the top. Use a small hook about 1.5 inches and screw it into the top of each pole. The post in my blog has lots of different choices for hanging your string lights and hardware that you might use depending on your application. For this project, I decided to hang my lights by the center of the string in between each light bulb. Ultimately, I changed my mind, took that off, and used the loops that are on the back of each light bulb to hang my lights onto the hooks on my string light poles. Next, you'll put a light on each hook and slide the pole into the sleeve to stand your poles up. Again, my poles are 7 feet above ground. The solar LED lights I used came with a clip or a stake to position the light sensor. I used the clip. It holds onto the pole or it clips to a tree branch easily. Adjust the light sensor, and then before you finish, do not forget to turn on the on button on the back of the light sensor. Since I've worked with both the incandescent plug-in string lights and solar LED ones, I wanted to show you what they both looked like up close. The electric ones are heavy duty. They've got glass bulbs. The benefit is you can change the bulbs, and you can plug them end to end. Of course, the downside is that glass bulbs break, and in high winds or bad weather, that might be a problem. The LED lights are fixed, so the light bulbs can't be changed, but you wouldn't need to. They're very durable. I stepped on one by mistake and it didn't break. The drawback is you can't plug them in end to end, but you can still work around that with the solar light catchers since you don't need electricity for them. I used a 20-foot string of LED solar lights for this project. This one has 12 lights 2 feet apart. The distance it covers is about 18 feet. I'm really happy with the quality and the illumination of them. I'll link both of the different string lights in my description in my YouTube video, and again, you'll find lots more information in my post on h2obungalow.com. Search string lights.